name is Felicia and I like scary movies, and today we have a Patreon requested review from Steven, so thank you Steven, you're the best. And I just want to say also thank you to everyone that is on my Patreon. Like, it means the world to me that you guys want to support this channel, and it actually truly helps me make more videos for you guys, so thank you all so much. I really appreciate it. Now let's get to The Perfection. It's funny because I feel very late to the game reviewing this movie, but also Nightmare Maven just posted a review on this, so I'll link her review down below as well. So we're both a little late, but it's chill, it's chill. This movie came out in May, it dropped on Netflix. It made a pretty big splash. It was written by Eric Charmello and directed by Richard Shepard. It was honestly a pretty crazy thing because I feel like horror lovers and non-horror lovers were both talking about this movie a lot. A lot of my friends hit me up about it that don't even like scary movies, and they were like, I watched this crazy thing, and let me tell you, it's crazy. It stars Allison Williams and Logan Browning, and they are both just freaking spectacular in this movie. Now, how do I describe the plot without spoiling everything in this film? Let's try. The Perfection is about a troubled music prodigy named Charlotte who has had a rough few years, I'll say. She seeks out a new star student of her former school, and then some insane shenanigans go down. How are we gonna do this? I don't know. So the one thing I love about this movie is how ambitious it is. The plot is all over the place and you never know where you're going throughout the movie. You think you know what's going on, and then it's like, no, you don't know what's going on. This is what's going on, and then it happens over and over again, and that I think is exciting. I think they did a lot with this movie. I think they did a lot with the gore in this movie that was really, really exciting and nasty. And I'll say for the first 2/3 of this film, I was like so down. Like, even my boyfriend like sat down and started watching. He was like, what is this? We were like so in it, and in that last third, here's where it went wrong for me. So it just is a movie that they were like, here is a bunch of crazy shit, and I was like, yay. And then they were like, here, now we're gonna over explain it to you and like feed it to you with a spoon, and I was like, I don't need it. Like, I don't need it. I got it. I can hold my own spoon. This review is getting weird. I'm sorry. I just felt with this film they could have put a little bit more trust in the audience, that we would have caught on to what was going on, and we didn't need a lot of exposition. There's particularly one scene where our characters are like in a kitchen and they just start explaining the plot of what's happened and what's going on and what just happened and what's about to happen. And I just felt like we've seen it and we are seeing it, and I don't need to hear about it. And that's how I felt. Another thing I really like about this movie is just the music overall. Like, first of all, it really adds to the drama and the tension, but also the fact that the music plays a character in this film is really exciting. Like, it's sort of this character in the film that everyone in the movie is obsessed with and will do anything for, and just messes them all up. And it's a cool idea that I felt excited about. Something else that's pretty crazy in this film besides plot is tone. The tone is a little bit all over the place, which doesn't really bother me too much because I like that it gets a little bit like silly and crazy. And then you have this like camera work that's a little all over the place, and the camera work did sometimes bother me. Like, it just is the fact that it took me out of the movie sometimes for me to be like, wow, they're doing something really crazy with the camera right now, versus like letting it infiltrate the story. I felt like sometimes there's particularly a moment at the end where you're really stuck on Charlotte, and it's like the camera is like full on her face, like a GoPro situation, and it just felt so different than the rest of the film that it was like, oh, this is like a strong choice, but it's taking me out of the action right now for me to watch this camera work. Does that make sense? Let's do some quick ratings and then we'll talk spoiler. The scare gets a 3.5. This movie is pretty scary in certain ways. They build tension really well for the first 2/3, I will say. And there are some gross out moments that literally, one particular one that made me sick to my stomach, because that kind of stuff just makes me sick to my stomach. The gore, I will say, gets a 4. There was a lot more gore than I thought there would be in this movie. Like, there were a couple of moments where I was like, watching, and I was like, oh, like, what? They showed me that on Netflix? And I'm like, I know they can show me that on Netflix, but it felt like so much gorier than I'm used to on Netflix. You know what I'm saying? The cheese gets a 2. I don't know what it is about it, but there is aspects of this film that feel a little bit cheesy to me, and I really think it's due to the over explaining and over talking of plot points. I'm just like, Don't do that. And overall, this movie gets a 3 for me. Like I said, the first 2/3, I was like so in, and the last third, I was like, oh, like I was like trying to catch it. I was like, no, we had it. We were good. We had it. And then it sort of fell apart for me at the end. Overall, I think this movie is definitely worth checking out for anyone that hasn't seen it. Like, go watch it. It's freaking insane. It'll show you some things you haven't really seen, and that's exciting, right? I personally feel like this is like a one-time watch for me. Like, I enjoyed it for the most part, but I probably won't watch it again, so it gets an average 3 for me. Okay, spoiler time. I feel like a lot of people have seen this movie, but we all miss things, so if you haven't seen it, click away, go away, get off of this video. What are you even doing? And if not, here, let's do some spoilers. Okay, I'm just gonna talk. Like, this is not like structured well. So, first of all, Allison Williams' character was cracking me up because at first, I swear to God, I was like, this is the same exact character from Get Out. Like, is this a crossover film? Like, she was acting so similarly, and when her crazy starts to show, I was like, oh my God, it's the girl from Get Out. But it's not. So that's why it's in the spoiler section, because she's not what she appears to be. The part that grossed me out, made me sick to my stomach, was of course the bugs and throwing up bugs. So if you've seen it, you know Charlotte gives some hallucinogen situation to Elizabeth. Elizabeth starts hallucinating and also is like super sick and is throwing up and thinks there's bugs in her throw up and under her skin. And that for me, I was just like, oh, I don't like it. Like, it's like funny, like I'm like, chop someone's leg off, that's fine. But if someone throws up, I'm like, don't throw up. Also, when that girl chops her arm off, like that was awesome. Like that was so crazy. That was the first moment for me where I was like I just couldn't believe this was a Netflix film. Like I know Netflix has like put out some gory stuff, but this was like so intense for me. It was awesome. Like props to all that. That was sick. And then the gore gets crazier and crazier with all that body horror stuff at the end where they like chop his limbs off. They chop the bad guy's limbs off. And that is like so epic. Also sort of did remind me of American Mary by the Soska twins, if you guys have seen that. But like getting revenge on their rapist by chopping limbs off and shit. Woo! Intense. But it was really good. And then I also really love the image of them playing the song at the end together that they were trying to perfect throughout the entire movie, throughout their childhoods. They're trying to perfect this one song, and then they can finally do it together at the end. And that is like very beautiful and stuff. But in general, I actually really like revenge films. I think they're really exciting, and this one has such a crazy twist to it. I'm all about it. I just think there are certain things about it that got overcomplicated and over-explained in the film, and it sort of made it a little bit less than amazing for me. But I'm really freaking impressed with the fact that this movie got made. Like, it's pretty cool. It's pretty bonkers. So go watch it. And that's it, y'all. I will see you in my next video, and have a nice scream. Thanks again, Steven, for requesting this. Bye-bye.